And my son Herbert, of course.
Herbert, last time I saw you, you were barely walking. Look at you. I did have my doubts that I had the address right. The roads are nearly washed out, and the houses for miles or so have their lights off and look abandoned.
You know, that is the worst of living so far out. Of all the dismal, slushy, out-of-the-way places to live in, this is the worst.
Yeah.
Since the auto plant closed 2 years ago, we're the only ones left on this road. We're outside the city limits and the county maintenance has forgotten about us. You know, I suppose because only one house on the road is occupied, they think it doesn't matter.
Never mind, dear. Doesn't look like his travels have hurt him one bit.
Hey. My father told us you were ambushed in the Khyber Pass.
Indeed we were. That is rough and desolate territory. Those mountains are filled with bandits and terrorists, and thousands of caves for them to hide in. Our mission was to flush out a real bad guy. And we thought we had some good intel on his location. It was the middle of winter. Heard of snake charmers? Beds of nails? They're real. I've seen them many times.
Now, I like to go to India myself, just to look around.
Better off where you are.
No. I like to see those old temples and fakirs and the jugglers. Hey, what was that you started telling me the other day about a monkey's paw or something?
Nothing worth talking about anyway.
A monkey's paw?
Morris.
Well, it's a bit of what you might call magic, perhaps. To look at it, it's just an ordinary paw, dried to a mummy.
And what's so special about it?
Oh, a spell was put on it by an old fakir, a very holy man. He wanted to show that fate ruled people's lives, and that those who interfered with it did so to their sorrow. He put a spell on it so that 3 separate men, each, could have 3 wishes from it.
Well, have you had 3, sir?
I did.
Did you really have the 3 wishes granted?
I have.
And has anybody else wished?
The first man had 3 wishes, yes. I don't recall what the first 2 wishes were, but the 3rd wish was for death. That's how I got the paw.
Now, Morris, if you've had your 3 wishes, it's no good to you now. What do you keep it for, huh?
Fancy, I suppose. I did have some idea of selling it, though. But I don't think I will. It's caused enough mischief already. Besides, people won't buy. They think it's a fairy tale, some of them. And those that think anything of it want to try it first and pay me afterwards.
If you could have another 3 wishes, would you have them?
I don't know.
Dad!
Oh, let it burn.
No. If you don't want it, Morris, give it to me.
No, I won't. I threw it on the fire. If you decide to keep it, don't blame me for what happened. Mark, pitch it back on the fire like a sensible man.
How do you do it?
Hold it up in your right hand and wish aloud. But I'm warning you of the consequences.
Well, that all sounds like a bunch of hocus pocus to me. Why don't you wish for 4 pairs of hands for me so I can get my chores done faster, huh?
Oh, no! If you must wish for something sensible.
Come now, Morris. Tell us more about your adventures in these remote parts of India.
Oh, we would be thrilled to hear more, but look at the time, dear.
You're right. You'll just have time to catch the last train.
Thank you. What a shame.
So nice to see you again, Sergeant.
Herbert! Morris! Thank you so much for coming to visit, eh?
You.
And let me just... something for the monkey's paw.
Yeah. You sure?
I'm sure.
Final warning, Mr. White. Throw that paw back in the fire and let it burn.
All right.
That door has got nearly impossible to open. You really must do something about it, Mark.
No, it is worse lately. Usually I can just push on the door and lift up on the knob and it'll open with no trouble.
No trouble for you. But sometimes I have to give up and use the back door, then walk all the way around the house. What did you give to the sergeant just now?
Well, I just gave him a couple of bucks for the monkey's paw. As you saw, he didn't want it, but I made him take it.
He probably felt guilty about taking your monies. I mean, if the tale of the monkey's paw is as far-fetched as it sounds, there's probably nothing to it.
Now, son, don't be so hasty to dismiss it. Morris said it worked for him, and I believe him.
Likely. Why, we're gonna be rich and famous and happy. Wish to be a king, Dad. And Ma can't boss you around so much.
Look, I don't know what to wish for, and that's a fact. It seems to me I've got all I want.
Well, if you paid off the house, you'd be happy, wouldn't you? Well, wish for $50,000 then. That'll just do it.
I wish for $51,247.17.
Dad!
It moved. It twisted in my hand like as snake as I wished.
Well, I don't see the money, and I bet I never will.
It must have been your imagination, honey.
Well, never mind. No harm done. But he did give me a shock all the same.
One thing is truly amazing, is that you would believe all this superstitious nonsense. I warn you of the consequences. That's what Morris had you convinced. So mysterious. How could $50,000 possibly hurt you, Mark?
Might fall on your head from the sky.
Good night, Herbert.
Good night, dear.
Good night. I expect you'll find the money tied up in a big bag in the middle of your bed and something horrible squatting on top of your dresser watching you pocket your ill-gotten gains.
I suppose all old soldiers are the same. The idea that we would listen to such nonsense. How can wishes be granted in this day and age?
Well, Morris said that the things happen so naturally that you might, if you wish, attribute it to coincidence.
We haven't seen a coincidence today.
No. You have to admit, you were more eager than usual to see what was in the mail today.
And disappointed, as usual, to find only bills. As long as you were wishing, you might have included a few extra dollars to cover these.
Well, the amount was Herbert's idea, not mine. You better direct your complaints to him. But, speaking of Herbert, shouldn't he be home from work by now? I mean, it's already dark out.
It is a bit later than usual, but not enough to worry about. It gets dark so early this time of year. I'm sure he'll be home any minute.
I hope right.
You know, he was having fun at your expense last night, but Herbert did have some funny remarks.
Well, I'm sure he'll have plenty more when he comes home from work. But for all your kidding, the thing moved in my hand. That I'll swear to. There was no thought. I had just...
Were you expecting someone? Couldn't possibly be the money that you're expecting. A wish?
I was asked to call. I represent Megan's Industries.
Anything the matter? What is it? What is it?
There, Evelyn. You haven't brought bad news, I'm sure, sir.
It is my regrettable duty to inform you of an accident involving your son.
Is he hurt?
Badly hurt. But he's not in any pain.
Oh, thank God. Thank God for that.
He was caught in the machinery. There was nothing anyone could do. I beg that you will understand I am only their servant and merely obeying orders. I have here a document signed by your son at the time of his employment. As you can see, it releases Megan's Industries of all responsibility and liability. Understandably, this is difficult for you, but if I may prevail upon you to acknowledge here with your signature, I have been authorized to offer you a certain sum as compensation.
A certain sum?
Yes. As can be observed in Section 3, Paragraph 2, your signature precludes any claims or litigation in the future. Initial here. This includes your son's unpaid wages. Thank you. On behalf of Megan's Industries, please accept our deepest condolences. And this payment in the amount of $51,247.17.
No! Herbert.
Here you are. Why aren't you in bed? Why are you sitting in the dark? At least put on a light.
Power must be out.
Just come back to bed. You'll be cold.
It's colder for my son. Oh. The monkey's paw.
Honey, what's going on, huh? What's the matter?
I want it. You haven't destroyed it.
It's on the mantle, but why?
I only just thought of it. Why didn't I think of it before? Why didn't you think of it?
Think of what?
The other two wishes. We've only had one.
But wasn't that enough?
No. We'll have one more. Go and get it quickly. And wish our boy alive again.
God, you've lost your mind.
Get it. Get it quickly and wish. Oh, my boy.
Oh, well, just
My
come
boy.
on back to bed. You don't know what you're saying.
We had the first wish granted, didn't we? Why not the second?
A coincidence?
Go and get it and wish. Bring him back. Wish.
It's foolish and wicked.
Wish.
I wish my son alive again.
Oh. Everything's going to be all right. Mark.
You see, it's not going to work. All right, it's impossible. You can't just wish someone back from the dead.
Give it time, Mark. Soon we'll have our son back with us. Things will be just like they used to be.
Will they? He's been dead for 10 days. And besides, he could... I couldn't bear to tell you this before. His body, it was so badly mutilated that I could only recognize him from his clothing. Remember how they wouldn't let you see him before we buried him? As he was too horrible for you to see, how must he look now?
You think I fear my own child?
No, but what of Herbert's existence? Huh?
What about it?
Simply bringing him back to life? Think of the agony for him, the pain from his injuries, from his decomposing flesh.
I will nurse him back to health
It's
again.
too horrible to imagine. All right? But it doesn't matter. It couldn't possibly happen. All right? Because that monkey's paw, as evil as it looks, has no real powers.
What's that?
It's only the wind.
It's Herbert.
What are you going to do?
My boy.
Oh,
It's Herbert. What are you calling me for? No! I must open the door.
but for God's sake, do not let him in.